I'd like to begin my presentation with first apologizing that I did not use a different program when creating my slideshow. I used Google Slides, so I am not able to make a video of the slideshow. So with that, let's begin my oral presentation. So as an introduction to my research project, the research study I am undergoing is to help social workers understand how integrating a native biological roots of social love with intervention/services can improve outcomes and decrease oppression. Social love is the catalyst to move beyond historical trauma and move into family resilience. Social workers must understand how Indigenous theories and the fundamentals of care and community support their people in building resilience, ethics, family, and decolonized social work practices. There is also the 5 R's of Native research, which is respect, relevancy, reciprocity, responsibility, and relationship. This is a guiding principle that can help shape interventions when drawing upon key theories and studies in Indigenous community settings. Next, moving into why I chose this, I am coming from the experience of from generational trauma and marginalization from the viewpoint of an Indian child welfare social worker and therapist in an Indigenous community. Working with tribal communities, it really made me see how people are still affected today by the history and the current events that are happening and how they've been a victim of generational trauma, and how sometimes westernized colonization has really affected the disintegration of cultural practices. And I just learned the other day, for example, like a hair follicle test, it can bring back or slash like resurface 6 generations of past trauma. I learned that from an ICWA social worker who works for CPS. We asked to drug test a client and they said, well, this is like your 5th one. Do you realize like what you're doing? Da, da, da. So I thought that was really interesting because even my seasoned social worker who was been an ICWA worker for years didn't even recognize that. So I think it's really critical for social work interventions to address the need for decolonizing practices. So the problem statement obviously is current social work practices often lack the cultural competency and community integration of social love necessary to serve Indigenous populations effectively. My research question is how Indigenous communities led experiences of social love inform social work interventions, and what extent does the integration of this culturally grounded practice improve measurable well-being outcomes? The purpose statement is with the purpose of the mixed methods research is to explore the concept of social love and its integration into social work practices within Indigenous communities. The goal of the study is to enhance intervention effectiveness and overall community well-being by using social love and challenging westernized colonized approaches to care. The significance of this program of this study is the integration of social love includes respecting the worldviews of Indigenous communities, encompassing love, respect, humility, connectedness, and cultural competence holistically. Literature review. The background, the problem that will be studied within the literature review is how current social work practices often lack the cultural competence of community integration of social love necessary to serve Indigenous populations. And here are some of the common variables. Social love, it comes from how social love protects families from hierarchy issues that can arise when social workers do not practice this tool, all the way down to how social love, in addition, can involve the core principles of collection care, accountability, and overall well-being. Theoretical concepts. It's a mixed methods approach, empirical reviews, conceptual modeling, are some of the theoretical and conceptual frameworks. Some of the qualitative words and mixed key terms, conclusions. One of the two conclusions I came up with is, although there's a need for more research to be done. Future research should be investigated on how social love influences measurable outcomes such as community engagement, mental health, family functioning, and culturally connectedness. Here's my summary. Social love can bridge the gaps of services, emerge as ethical, relational, and decolonization approach that social workers should try and practice, all the way down to it's a foundation that's capable of guiding social workers to value culturally responsible, decolonizing, and relationship-centered social work interventions. And there are my references. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed my slideshow.